Welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Music. The list goes on and on. Don't forget to subscribe to the Substack, Spurs in Focus Substack. Go find it right now. Hit subscribe. It's completely free, everybody. We thank y'all for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Ignore the rest. Unsubscribe to the rest. Just come here to Spurs in Focus. I wish it was on better terms that we're here live. Yeah, it's kind of somber right now if you're a Spurs fan. Yeah, y'all know what happened. Spurs lost game 2, NBA Finals, 105-104. Spurs are now down 0-2 going into game 3, which now shifts to New York City. The guy you can't see on the screen, Mr. Rudy Campos, he's having some tech issues, but his audio's working. He's going to see if maybe he can get the video going. But you want to make sure you follow Rudy on X at The Sports Answer. Rudy, so not only the Spurs lose, you have tech issues, internet issues, right? What a night for you.
Yeah, it's been a terrible night so far. Spurs go down 0-2. And yeah, my internet. So basically watching the game, it just kept, what is it, rotating or loading or whatever it is. So just an overall bad night for the Campos household. And yeah, now I'm having tech issues with the computer.
Yeah. Everybody, again, you obviously can hear Rudy. He's having some tech issues, so this show might be a little bit of the short side. Again, Rudy's going to try to see if he can get his video going. But yeah, we got a lot on deck for you, though. We're going to get our general takeaways, our instant reactions, and then we get to my big 3 takeaways, Rudy's big 3 takeaways, turning point, standout stats, standout player of any, and then get into you guys the Spurs in Focus fan comments. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes. I already see them piling in. I know you guys are pissed off right now. Think of this as a therapy couch session, all right? This is going to be a therapy session because your boys, your silver and black, they have a daunting task ahead of them. They now got to beat the Knicks 4 out of the next 5 times, if they can even do that. We're going to ask that big question later on in this episode. So, I see people having the faith in the comment section, Rudy, but before we get to them, I know. Let's get into the general takeaway. Once again, your Spurs lost 105-104 to the New York Knicks. Spurs are in a hole now, 0-2. The worst case scenario happened. The worst case going into game 3 is happening because now, not only did the Knicks steal home court advantage and then some, Rudy, my first general takeaway is when the final buzzer went off and how they lost, we're going to get to that in a bit, is it feels like the Knicks just ripped the heart out of the Spurs. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man, it's been it's exactly the way I feel. And I know one of our fans had a comment talking about Mitch Johnson, and that's exactly who I'm going to go later on with on one of the takeaways. But yeah, I mean, he only had 20 points tonight, and that was Jalen Brunson. But again, it was those key shots and that last shot at the end. I mean, I told people in my household that were watching the game, I said, it reminds me of Kobe a little bit, hitting those daggers at the very end of games and a lot of other players. So yeah, Knicks are just ripping the heart out of San Antonio and San Antonio Spurs fans. They're a really good team. So, I mean, you can't really say anything bad about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was my biggest takeaway is just when the final buzzer went off, it just feels like the soul, the heart was just ripped out of them. And it again, what did we say in game 1? And it happened again in game 2, a tale of two halves. The first half, the Spurs were playing like crap. They were letting their leads go, not playing defense, leaving the 3-point shooters wide open. Cat was being Cat. I mean, seriously, I have never seen a player really give Wemby problems outside of maybe Joker. The Cat is giving him the business. And even though the Spurs were discombobulated, just out of sorts in the first half, Rudy, they finally come alive in the second half. Like, it just felt, Rudy, like too little too late, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little too late, but I would even go a little bit, I'll push back a little bit on that. I mean, they did make a comeback. They did make actually a great comeback, to come back and tie the New York Knicks. And it came down at the very end to, and Jeff, I didn't want to use this word, and I'm going to have to use it, but you can definitely see the inexperience in both player and
Mm-hmm.
coaches when
Ooh,
it
good
came
point.
down to the final part of the fourth quarter. I mean, little mistakes here and there, and that was crazy, man. I mean, you saw that a veteran New York Knicks team knew exactly what to do, took every advantage that they had, but
Mm-hmm.
even they were panicking because the Spurs made a comeback
Yeah.
to tie the game. Spurs stopped Brunson on a jump shot. They had an absolutely perfect time to take the last shot, only to have Mitch Johnson again feel like
Mm-hmm.
we need to play through everything, not call a timeout, which would have set him up for the last shot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby turns the ball over. It is good night, San Antonio.
Yeah. You know, going into halftime, it was still close. The Knicks did have the lead, but it wasn't an insurmountable lead. And I said, okay, the Spurs are fine. And I was asked, do you think it's over? I said, I'm not going to make the call yet because I want to see how they play in the third. If just show me any type of life, any type of energy coming out of the third, going to the fourth, I think the Spurs have a shot. And sure enough, they did. Because they were coming off a disastrous second quarter, Rudy. In that second quarter, the Knicks outscored them 31-18. 31-18. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Wembayama at half. I believe he only had 7 points at half, 5 rebounds.
He only took
That
four
was
shots,
He
and
only
that
took
was
four
it.
shots. And Mitch Johnson, after the game, he goes, Mitch needs to figure out ways to give Wemby touches. Interesting enough, though, he also followed that up by saying Wemby's teammates need to give him touches. Rudy, should there have been a hefty dose of Wembayama from jump until the final buzzer?
You would have thought so. I mean, four shots in the first half is it's inexcusable, man. There's no reason why your best player, one of the best players in the league, is only getting four shots in the first half. But are you blaming Mitch Johnson and the coaching staff on that? I'm not. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
blaming Mitch and the staff on that. I'm not saying anything from them. I'm actually blaming Wemby on that one. You
Interesting.
should have enough. Okay, so again, you could probably get cooked left and right, but as an MVP candidate, top three in MVP voting, as the so-called next face of the league and all this other stuff, you should have enough testicular fortitude to take the game and put it on your back and take more than four shots, knowing you are the best player on this team. So do you blame Mitch because Wemby didn't take more than four shots? No, you don't blame Mitch. You don't even blame his teammates. He needs to insert himself into the game. And that's something that a lot of us have been saying since the playoffs started. When he inserts himself into a game, especially in the first half, the Spurs are a very unbeatable team. They get off to a very fast start and they build a nice double-digit lead
Mm-hmm.
whenever that happens. Four shots in the first half, that goes on Victor. That goes on his inexperience. Does that go in the case of, is he a little bit afraid of the big moment? I mean,
Mm.
I'm not saying that he
Mm.
is, but if you're taking four shots, there's something wrong with you. And it's not the team, it's you. It's all on you for taking four shots. No one's telling you not to shoot. No one's telling you not to get the ball. No one's telling you not to get to the basket. It's on you. You're their best player. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to step in before this team steps out.
It again, game two felt like a carbon copy of game one. What do we see in game one? Champagny comes out firing, making shots. They're doing all the right things. The role players are doing their thing. Castle's being Castle. Oh, look at the Spurs. They came out swinging, and look at that. They're toe to toe with the Knicks. It's a slugfest. They're not backing down from the haymakers. And then what do we see? The wheels start slowly falling off. Anytime the Spurs had a lead on the Knicks in the first half, the third period, I kept telling myself, nope, it's not comfortable enough. Nope, it's not comfortable enough. Even when the Spurs made an incredible run, in which they did, you can't rain on the parade 100%. They had a phenomenal, phenomenal comeback. But again, just like in game one, Rudy, in game two, what do they have to do? Dig themselves out of a hole. Dig themselves out of a hole. You could probably get away with that against the Blazers, the Wolves, and maybe the Thunder. You can't do this against this Knicks team because they play defense. They got guys that are fearless, and they got guys that came up big. Rudy, it feels like maybe the Spurs maybe came into this final series popping their collar a little bit too much. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see why you would say that. You beat the number one seeded Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're the number one overall seed in the NBA. You have a tough series against Minnesota, but maybe they were coming in on cloud nine against a figured a
Yeah,
Knicks team that wasn't maybe tested as well
sure.
as a lot of people could say. So I mean, they were riding a really good winning streak, the New
Mm-hmm.
York Knicks, but the Spurs were really riding a really good winning wave
Right.
into these NFL, NBA playoff finals. I'm sorry. And could it be overconfidence? Probably. Could it
Yeah.
be that they felt like they were at the top of the mountain? Yeah, possibly. But again, they haven't played a full healthy roster than they have the Knicks, and that's something that it's biting them in the butt right now. I mean, the Knicks are playing no holds barred defense, and you know what? Spurs are playing the exact same way. They're playing physical, and the refs are letting them play. Fantastic, I love it. But it's the little bit of inexperience you're starting to see come from this young squad. Last game, it was everybody on top of De'Aaron Fox. Hey, he needs to
Yep.
go. He's terrible. This game, he had 20 points. I mean, he did what he was supposed to
Yep.
do. Who's to blame at this game? I mean, you could say Victor in the first half, but he scored 27 in the second half, I believe,
You
or
can say
20.
that careless pass at the end.
Again, it's the key. It's the timely turnovers that happen that kind of hurt the Spurs left and right. And don't get me started on that pass, man. That pass should have never happened. I mean, ever happened. This is You saw it in the Portland series. Mitch decided, let the game go. We'll have Julian shoot the three ball. We're not going to call timeout to set up a play. Spurs lose that game. Then the NBA Finals, you should know if you're able to stop Jalen Brunson and get a rebound,
Mm-hmm.
you want the last shot, especially
Right.
if you're tied. Jeff, you were tied with what, 10 seconds left in the game, 13 seconds left in the game.
They took the lead too in the waning
But,
moments too.
no, I'm saying it was a tied game when
Oh, right,
Wimby
right,
got the
yeah, yeah.
rebound and threw it to Castle when he wasn't looking. You take the damn timeout. You have one timeout. You want to set up the best possible play. You want to have the last shot because why? If you miss it, you're probably going to go to overtime. I would
Mm-hmm.
have taken overtime, but I would have rather have taken the last shot and had the last possession.
Mm-hmm.
100% Mitch Johnson and the staff, this was on you. I can't hide this anymore. This is completely on you.
I have a quote from Wimby here after the loss, and I go back to what I said earlier about maybe they came into this series a little bit too on cloud nine. He says here, quote, personally, I think I could have been better recovering, this is Wemby now, from the high of the confidence of the conference finals. But I mean, here we are. We can't change the past now. Really, it seems like the Spurs thought their championship series was against the Thunder. I forgot, like, oh yeah, there's 4 more games. It really
Yeah.
feels like that. It really feels like that. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you talk to a lot of NBA heads, they were saying that it was kind of weird how they were celebrating like that at the end of the Thunder
Yeah,
series.
they're acting like they won the title.
And it reminded me a lot of Patrick Beverly when they made the play-in game that one year when he was with
I
Minnesota,
remember
I
that.
believe. So
Yeah,
jumping on the
got on the
table, taking
got on
off
the
his
table. Yeah.
jersey. Yeah. So I get it. You want to show emotion. I'm so happy that they got to the finals, but it just seemed like they basically just had that sigh of relief and said, okay, we're here, we did it, we're good. And it's like I've been telling you, man, they've been playing with house money this entire time. So in a way, it's okay. You get to the finals. All right, cool. You get your experience. But what a lot of people will tell you is that you can get to the finals at one time, but there's a good possibility you may never make it again. You have to take full advantage of these finals when you're in it. So far, San Antonio hasn't taken full advantage of it, whether it be the staff, whether it be the play of Wemby in some cases, whether it be the play of Fox, whoever. This Spurs team outmatched and outcoached in the first 2 games.
Is Mike Brown running circles around Mitch Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, if you can tell me he's not, then I'm going to call you a liar. I mean,
Hmm.
he's basically put his Knicks team in position to sweep the San Antonio Spurs. Can I say that again? He put his team in position to sweep the Spurs. He's made the biggest adjustment in this playoffs, and that was putting Karl Anthony Towns into a playmaker
Hmm.
position. Jalen Brunson is probably the best player in the world right now, and that is in the playoffs. I mean, this entire team is playing hard-nosed defense. It's basically, you know what? It's basically Golden State Warriors shooting with bad boy Piston defense. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a killer combination. But when these guys are hot, they're hot. Landry
Yeah.
Shamet is a guy that's killing San Antonio from beyond the arc. I mean, Miles McBride is actually doing it. You know, he's hitting the three, and they're timely threes, Jeff. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, out coached, man. Mike Brown is doing a phenomenal job, and I give him a whole lot of credit.
Yeah. And what's frustrating too is that you look at that pivotal fourth quarter, Rudy, and we talked about the rebounds last game, right? The Spurs actually won the rebounding battle in
Yeah.
game one. But you look at the fourth period, the Knicks had 6 offensive rebounds to the Spurs 0. Second chance opportunities right there. Okay.
Mhm.
The Spurs had 2 more turnovers than the Knicks, and a critical one when Wimby threw the ball out of bounds that hit Castle. It's just, what are we doing here, guys? And I think you're right. I think finally that inexperience is showing because they're playing the Spurs. They're playing against a team that's not young. They're not the upstart Blazers. They're not the still young side Wolves. They're not the young, just as young as the Spurs Thunder team. This is a team of men. This is a team of guys that have been in the league for a long time.
Yes.
Brunson, Cat, Hart, Bridges. We all talk about the Spurs and they're inexperienced, but screw it, right? Wimby, screw it. Well, maybe you can't screw it against the Knicks team that is just a bunch of men that understand that it's down to the little things that matter. And they're showing it right now. But once again, everybody, we thank y'all for joining us here live at Spurs in Focus on YouTube. In case you're wondering, just joining us why Rudy's not on the screen, he's having some tech issues, internet issues. Rudy, you want to try to see if you get your video back on, or you think you're good?
I think if I try it, we'll probably get locked up. So no,
Okay.
let's just go ahead and move on for a little bit
All
here.
right. All right. Cool. I was just trying to give you a chance there to get back on. All
Yeah.
right. So again, that's why Rudy's out for camera right now. His internet, as Ruby say, screwed. Yeah. So screwed right now.
It's been all night.
Um.
It's been all night.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. What kind of bothered me too was you saw that video clip of it's the fourth quarter. The Spurs are making that massive run.
Mhm.
Wimby's in the huddle. He's trying to rile up the team, rile up the troops. You see him animated and yelling and hitting his fist. Man, he's the one who caused the turnover. That pretty much iced the game for the Knicks. It was
Yeah.
him. Oh yeah, Rudy. All right. Again, everybody, this might be on the short side again because Rudy's having some technical issues. So let me go to get into my big takeaways from the game 2 loss. I hate saying that, Rudy. I hate saying that. All right, here are my big takeaways. Number 3, I said it a little ago. It's the little things that are catching up with the Spurs. Playing with desperation from jump till the end of the game. I didn't see that from the Spurs until the third-ish and definitely in the fourth period. Again, you got to play like that from beginning. We talked about the offensive rebounding that bit the Spurs in the butt in that fourth period. What about just the second half, Rudy? In the second half, the Knicks had 9 offensive rebounds to the Spurs 3. What about just the second half? They had 1 more steal than the Spurs. They had fewer turnovers in the second half to the Spurs 8. The Knicks had 6. Second chance points in the second half, 12. And you saw that repeatedly. There was one possession where the Knicks got 3 offensive rebounds in a row and it connected, I believe, on a 3-point shot. I think it was by Shamat. What about capitalizing off turnovers. We saw that over and over again. Points off turnovers. The Knicks had 3 in the second half, and the Spurs did outscore them in that period. But you go overall, it's just they did the little things. They did the little things. Getting to the free throw line at the critical moment. They Cat, rising his level up to take on Wemby. We haven't even said anything about Mitchell Robinson. I thought Mitchell Robinson did a damn good job defensively on Wemby to close out the game. Really was sticking it to him. Again, this is not Chet Holmgren. I get it. But this is still a guy who's rugged, he's tough, and he's a lot stronger than maybe somebody that Wemby has not faced in this run. What about that third period disappearing act? They just vanished in the third with the Knicks outscoring them. It was just bad, everybody. It was just bad. I can go on and on about just how they're so inconsistent, this Spurs team. And another blown lead, Rudy. Another blown lead. The Spurs, at one point, they had a 12-point lead, just like we saw in game one. They had a 14-point lead. It didn't matter to this Knicks team. They're like, 12 points, whatever. 14 points, sure. As long as the game is close, we got a shot, and they definitely capitalized that. I'm going to leave this on your screen. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, little things out there, that the Knicks just took advantage of. I mean, again, offensive rebounds, Spurs did lose in that category. In this game, I believe it was 10-5 on the offensive rebound side. And it was those key shots. They decided to double team Brunson. And the little thing that the Knicks did was make the adjustment to find the open man, knocking down a 3, getting to the basket. I mean, you're right on that sense. Number 2 for the third disappearing act that you've got. I don't know if you meant third or the second quarter.
Second. I'm sorry, I meant to say second. Yeah, it's a typo.
Okay, no worries.
But 31-18, yeah.
31-18 in that second quarter. I mean, 18 points for a quarter. That is horrid, man. That is absolutely horrid. Obviously, something's not working for you in there. You've got to change something. I mean, shots aren't falling, but the Knicks were just red hot and on fire. I mean, that is that's a big second quarter for them. And your last one, I couldn't remember the last one that you had up.
The last one was second chance opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned that the offensive rebound, the Knicks ended up winning 10-5 on the offensive rebound. Timely second chance opportunities. That's another key moment for you there. And that's a big takeaway right there.
Yeah, exactly. Again, you just look at the critical second half overall. The Spurs actually outshot the Knicks 54-40%. But you go to the fourth period, again, the Spurs shot well. They actually shot 61% from the field to the Knicks 28%. So you're thinking, like, what just happened? What happened? Well, turnovers in that fourth period. The Spurs had 4 turnovers that cost the big time for them. By the way, they allowed 8 second chance points in the fourth period to the Spurs 0. So the Knicks outworked them in those. See, I look at that stuff like the energy, the hustle stuff, second chance opportunities, offensive rebounds, scoring points off turnover, stuff like that. The Knicks built in that fourth period a 14-point lead to the Spurs 2. And that's when the Spurs made that furious comeback. The Spurs only led the game in the fourth period 18 seconds. The Knicks controlled it 15 minutes and 50 seconds. So one thing before we get the break, and we're going to get to your big takeaways in a bit here. But one thing that Wemby said after the game, again, it feels like game one all over again. He said, "This was our game. We should have won." Did he say that in game one, Rudy?
Yeah, he did. And I mean, I don't disagree with him. I think they know what the problem is and they're trying to fix it. But what's the biggest issue is that this isn't Minnesota. This isn't all these other teams that they played against where they make adjustments and then they come out winning by 20, 25, 27 points. This is the New York Knicks, man. A team that is well coached, a team that has a crap load of veterans on them. I mean, they're a well-built team, and when they're healthy, they are a very dangerous team, and they're showing why. I mean, they don't have one guy that can beat you in Jalen Brunson. I mean, you've got Cat. If Cat and Brunson, are playing mediocre, you have a guy like Anunoby or Mikal Bridges, like tonight, one of the guys that I highlighted that was going to be a big-time problem for San Antonio. he was on it tonight, 20 points. I mean, he just made it tough for San Antonio to double team Jalen Brunson. And now if you're Mitch Johnson, you're thinking, okay, I've got to play Jalen straight up. And that worked for a little while, but at the same time, I mean, you do all that work and then you get an offensive rebound on top.
Mm-hmm.
That kills them right there. It's just a lot of little stuff, man. Spurs fans, all I can say is tip your hat. I mean, this is a really good Knicks team.
It is. You know what this reminds me of? And I don't know if I'm stretching it here. Rudy, ever get your thoughts? Why does this feel like when the Pistons upset the Lakers in the finals? You remember the Spurs are coming in. Oh, look, the hot shot team. They got Wemby. They're young. They're flashy. They run. They got Castle. Everything. And the Pistons were coming in like, they're rugged. Who they got? Ben Wallace. You know, that's their best player. And they stunned the Lakers in that series. Kobe, Shaq, all those guys.
I was going back to Isaiah Thomas and Magic. I'm like, I don't think this would feel that way. But you're going with the Kobe and Shaq. Yeah, I can see that.
It feels like that series.
I'll tell you what, this series feels like this. And this is exactly when I was sitting on the couch and I was looking at the game and I thought, you know what? This reminds me of Orlando, Houston, when the Magic was Shaq, a young Shaq and a young Penny, a very young team. Nick Anderson was a part of that team. That was a very hot team, one of the best teams in the league. And they had just come off beating Jordan and the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken, in that series before. So they get to the finals. They're on cloud nine. Remember, you're talking about Michael Jordan. Same thing with Shea Gilchrist and the Spurs. You're beating the best player in the NBA, supposedly, right now. So they get to the finals, and then they get pretty much steamrolled by the Houston Rockets. Same thing. A bunch of veterans, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell, a lot of these guys. They come
Drexler's
in
on that team too, right?
No, I don't think Drexler was on that team yet.
Kenny Smith was on that team, I believe, right?
Kenny Smith was on that team. I don't remember if Vernon was on that team. I think he might have been.
He may have been, yeah.
But again, that's what this feels like. It feels like the Orlando Magic Houston Rockets final series where Orlando figured everybody had Orlando winning. I mean, they didn't give Houston a chance in that series, and then all
Nick
of a sudden,
Anderson's missed free throws.
Yeah, everything came back to haunt Orlando in that series, and that's kind of the way this feels. It feels like it might go something like that right there.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Rudy's going to have his chance to give us his big three takeaways. They're going to do turning points, standout stats, standout players, if anything, and then get to your comments. You guys are leaving a bunch of comments. Think of it as a therapy couch session right here. After your San Antonio Spurs lost to the New York Knicks in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, 105-104. Yeah, it came down to a freaking free throw. By the way, if I can amend my big takeaways, it's missed free throws. How costly that costed the Spurs.
You can talk about it because that'll be one of my takeaways.
All right, we'll leave it there for Rudy. Again, we'll be right back, everybody, right here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus.
As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
You know, Rudy, again, I pass up on watching the movie Masters of the Universe for the Spurs game.
You should just go watch it, man.
They didn't deliver. The Spurs didn't deliver a win.
I hope you go see it this weekend because everything that I've heard from everybody that's seen it is positive. So
a friend of the show, Ray, he came on one time. You couldn't make it. He texted me. He said, like, "Oh, it slaps." So it's pretty good. Once again, everybody, we are back right here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. After your San Antonio Spurs are now in a world of hurt now. Down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. The scene is shifting to New York, Madison Square Garden this Monday. And that's what pisses me off, Rudy, is that they can't shake off this loss quick. They have the whole weekend to think about this. And I think that's bad. I think if you lose the way they lost today, you want to shake that off quick. They can't do that. They got to let it simmer for 2 days. Wemby said that that's going to motivate him. We'll see. Motivate the team, but we'll definitely see. All right, so before the break, everybody, I gave you my big three takeaways from the loss. Rudy, what do you got?
Well, number one for me is free throws. I mean, you're 19 of 27 from the free throw line. That's 8 points easily right there if you make them all. let's say they miss, maybe 3 out of those 8, they're still getting +5. So again, that looks like a 109, 105 victory if they're hitting their free throws.
Mhm.
Kind of uncharacteristic for some of these guys to missing their free throws the way that they did. I know Victor was 5 of 8 from the line, cast
Mhm.
2 of 4. It just a little bit of uncharacteristic for Victor. He usually shoots the ball really, really well from the free throw line. But again, that was a key tonight. They didn't knock down the free throw, 70% from the free throw line. That's one takeaway for me. The other takeaway was I can't believe I'm saying this, Jeff, but inexperience. Inexperience has finally caught up to San
Mhm.
Antonio, and that shows from the inexperience of Mitch being a rookie head coach in his first full year with the Spurs, allowing the team to just run a play and try to get something going instead of calling a very timely timeout there at the end of the game. You're tied 104-104. You get a rebound off of a Brunson miss. You can call timeout, get the last shot, set up something. If it goes in, sweet. You're at 1-1. This series is talked about a whole lot differently, but no, you let Victor play point guard again, bring up the ball. He is not a point guard. Let me reiterate that, Mitch. I know you listen to the show. Victor is not a point guard. I don't care if he feels like he is. He's not a point guard. In that situation, you want the ball out of his hands. You saw what happened.
Mhm.
He assumed Stefan Castle was going to be there for the outlet, turned his back, turnover Spurs, game over. Brunson is
Mhm.
fouled, makes 1. So that was my other takeaway, was the inexperience, is that it's starting to show, and it's really starting to get under the Spurs skin, because even on the other side, man, when Castle's getting to the basket, why is it throughout the entire regular season and the whole postseason so far, Jeff? Answer me this. The inexperience comes out here. Why is it Castle, when he gets to the basket, he's just going up? He's trying to dunk it. He's just getting to the basket. He's, very crafty. Why in the 2 games against New York Knicks, when he gets to the basket, he hesitates and then he tries to make a pass? He tries to punch the ball out and he turns the ball over. Interception, by Brunson or Hart
Mhm.
or whoever. It seems like he's not wanting to get to the rim and attack. He gets to the rim and he tries to do something else, or he tries to get one of his teammates involved. That makes no sense to me. That inexperience is really haunting the
Mhm.
Spurs now. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to inexperience. That stuff right there. I mean, Dylan Harper's playing really good, 15 tonight. I mean, he's
Mhm.
still playing, I think, better than almost everybody on the team. De'Aaron Fox had a nice bounce back game tonight. But again, it's my head scratching is Steph, it's Wemby, and it's Mitch. I mean, those 3 guys, the inexperience is definitely showing. And finally, this goes off the court, man. This goes off the court. My biggest takeaway is I am
Mhm.
100% glad, and I am super proud that the New York Knicks were able to get home court advantage throughout the entire finals. Every game is a freaking home game for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, they were loud
That is
again.
and there were more Knick fans in game 2 than game
It
1.
did felt, yeah.
When you heard Roland, who was the PA announcer, say 2 shots, you heard a minimal crowd say 2 shots like they normally do. Normally that whole arena is screaming that.
Yeah.
But now the Knicks fans have taken over San Antonio. They've got home court advantage throughout the NBA finals, because if by
Mhm.
it comes back for game 5, we're going to see a sea of blue and orange again. So Spurs fans, I don't know if you sold your tickets. I don't know if Ticketmaster sold extras. I don't know what the whole problem is, but yeah, if you are one of the guys or girls that sold your tickets, again, don't ever go back into the arena again. You don't deserve to be a Spurs
Banned.
fan. You
You're
don't
banned for life
deserve,
like that kid running
yeah,
on the court.
yeah, you don't deserve to own Spurs tickets. You don't deserve any of that stuff anymore. Those are my takeaways, Jeff.
After the game, Mitch Johnson, he kept on saying the Spurs haven't played their brand of basketball, that they haven't reached that level. No, he even said if we play our brand of basketball, we should be okay going into game 3. But why does it feel like even if they play their best brand of basketball, this Knicks team is ready for that? Why does it feel that way, Rudy?
Adjustments. I mean,
Yeah.
it's flat out adjustments. Mike Brown and the staff have, they've got an adjustment for every single thing the Spurs have been wanting to do, and everything that worked against Oklahoma City is not working against the New York Knicks. So try to stop running the stuff that you did in the previous playoff series and figure out what to do. You kind of held Brunson in check for a little while there in the fourth quarter. You got on a little run. They started taking tougher shots. They started taking shots deep into the shot clock, which hurt them a whole lot. And then there was that timely foul by Julian Champagny. And you know what? That's okay. They still bounced back and they still tied the game. They had all the momentum in that fourth quarter. And what happened? A momentum killer, a turnover. Turnover. So you can call that luck by New York. You can call it whatever. But it just seems like it doesn't matter what the Spurs do right now. The Knicks are ready for it. And they're going to continue to be ready for it. Do you think it's going to be easier to go into MSG and get a W? Hell no. It's not going to be easy. Did you not see that Christmas game? Wasn't there a Christmas game where they got blown out in MSG?
They got wrecked.
I mean, hello, people. MSG is not a cakewalk.
Yeah. After the game, we got some thoughts from Dylan Harper. He says, look, it's one game at a time. Drop 2 games at home. You never want to do that, but at the end of the day, you got to figure out how to just win in the next 48 minutes. He goes on to say, the biggest thing for us is just staying together and not putting our heads down. You just got to focus on the next game. It's not the first to win 2. You're right, Dylan. It's not the first to win 2 games. But can this young team beat this veteran savvy Knicks team for the next 5 with, as you highlighted, Rudy, the Knicks owning home court advantage no matter what from this point going forward? That's a tall task. All right, let's go ahead and play our game now. We got some categories coming up right now. We have standout stats. Now, remember, Rudy, it can be good or bad, all right? It can be a good thing or like what stood out for you. Or it's like one that stood out for me, how horrific the Spurs were, all right? I don't want you to accuse me of setting you up or anything. So what are your standout stats? Standout player, could go both ways, good or bad. And, of course, the turning point. All right, Rudy, round and round we go. Which one I'm going to stop on? How about this one?
All right, so last time you picked Jalen Brunson, and I was kind of upset because I didn't know we could pick a Nick as our standout player.
A standout player. That's all I said.
Tonight I'm gonna go with 2 guys, and one of them I got to go with De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I'm not gonna sing his praises, but he had a 3 for 13 game in game 1. It was very tough for him. Came back 8 of 12, 2 of 2 from 3-point range. I mean, he doesn't really knock down the 3 that well. Got going early tonight. Tried to keep the Spurs in it, and he did in the fourth quarter. Ended the game with 20 points. Did have 4 turnovers, which were kind of costly, but not as costly as some of the turnovers by Wemby and Castle in key moments of the game. 5 assists in the game, 3 rebounds. He's going to be my standout player for San Antonio. Again, I like what Dylan Harper did also. I mean, for San Antonio, he did a great job for the San Antonio Spurs. And at one point, I remember I talked to Derek Gervin. I said, why would they play Dylan and De'Aaron a whole lot more together? You actually saw them on the court during that run together at the end of the game. So it shows that they can work together. And I love that. I love the fact that they can be 2 great point guards on the court at the same time. So, and that's when Castle was out. And that's when the Spurs started getting momentum. They got back and they tied the game. So I want to see more of the Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox backcourt. My other guy, I got to give credit to this guy, man, because he's making me look good now. And that's Mikal Bridges from the New York Knicks as a standout player. Good, 20 points, man, a +7 overall, but 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He ended up having a steal as well, just making it tough for San Antonio. And again, when Brunson, only had 20 points tonight, Cat had 21 and OG with 17. Mikal Bridges was that guy, the unsung hero that, again, hit timely shots, was able to get to the basket, played some really, really good hard-nosed defense. Those 2 guys are my standout players of the game.
Yeah, I feel like I do half a standout player because I only played a half, really. It was Victor Wembanyama. He finishes with 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. He was a +6 on the night, but again, a tale of 2 halves for him, buddy. I mean, it really was. First half, 7 points. Second half, 22 points. So, but it's so tough because, sure, you had 29 points, Vic, and you were a +6, and you made a couple threes. But you needed to be second half Wemby in the first half and for a complete game, 48 minutes. The turnover at the end. And he did some silly fouls too down the stretch. He did have 5 clutch points when the NBA says under 5 minutes is clutch time. So he had 5. So I'm going to give him a half a standout player because he only played half a good game. And the other guy, I'm going to go with Karl Anthony Towns again, plus 11 on the night, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Look, everybody, I know it's Spurs in focus, man, but you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, Cat has been balling. Why does it feel like Cat is on a mission right now, Rudy? It feels like he is just laser focused right now.
He's the best shooting big man in NBA history, apparently, is what he calls himself. So
better than Bol Bol? Better than Manute Bol, his dad?
Oh God, no, man. Manute Bol and Jack Sikma were the first 2 big guys that I saw shoot threes as a kid, and I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome there. Karl Anthony Towns is on a mission. I mean, you saw the crap that he gave him in Minnesota and how it wasn't working in Minnesota with him and Gobert, and then with Anthony Edwards. He's out to prove himself, man. I mean, he's out to prove that he can be a part of a championship team and that he can make a difference and that he's really doing it. And again, this is not the same Karl Anthony Towns that we're used to seeing. It's not. Go back and look at the tapes. Mike Brown put him in a different spot on the court and is having him play a whole new style of basketball. And Cat has taken that and ran with it, Jeff. And that is why the New York Knicks are on a 12-game winning streak in the playoffs.
Amazing.
They are playing lights out basketball, and a lot of it has to do with not only Jalen Brunson, it's Karl Anthony Towns. He's 13 rebounds, 21 points, 4 assists. I mean, he's just stuffing the stat, man. He's stuffing the stat stuffing, and that's something that you would see Cat go maybe 30 and 10 and this and that. But now he's just putting himself and everybody on that Knicks team in better position. Kudos to Cat. I mean, yeah, you're right. This is Spurs in focus, but you got to sometimes just, tip your cap, sit back on your chair and toast to some of these other guys because when they're balling, they're balling.
Yeah, he is definitely balling, and he just looks like a different guy from his days in Minnesota. Just how much he's matured on that court. And change of address does him well. And, he says he is from that New Jersey, New York area. So he's technically going back home. But my God, I mean, I've never seen another player, at least another big, give Wemby, fits. I mean, he is giving Wemby fits. You see, Wemby has to honor his outside shot. He has to play so high away from the rim that it just leaves those lanes open for McBride, for Brunson, for these other Bridges getting those mid-range shots in. I mean, I get it. He's just playing really, really good. All right, go to the next category here. We did standout players. What's the next one going to be?
Oh, God. Turning point for me is when Jalen Brunson's dad decided to be a dad and protect his son. That's the biggest, what kind of word I want to use move that I've ever seen in NBA history. Having your own dad stick up for you, that's just pathetic. But nonetheless, that's not my turning point. My turning point is the fourth quarter, few seconds left in the game. Jalen Brunson misses that shot. And Vic gets it, and here comes, Victor Stockton down the court because
he said,
because he feels like he's a point guard and turns the ball over. That should have been 100%. Grab the rebound. Mitch, you call timeout. You have one timeout. You have the last shot of the game, no shot clock. You can set up the absolute best Greg Popovich play you could ever think of. And if it goes in, you win. If it doesn't, you go to overtime. That is simple as that. So my turning point was that moment of the game because Victor brought it up. Did he panic? I don't know. I mean, you don't normally make that pass, especially when you see Steph Castle look at you briefly and then turn and then you make the pass. He's not a point guard. I mean, I get it. People call him generational. People call him a GOAT. People, call him a lot of other stuff. And, he's never seen a 7'4" guy do this. Well, we've seen 7'4" guys turn the ball over. And it just so happened that he turned it over in a costly part of the game. That's my turning point. Should have called timeout right there, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious one, and that's my turning point too. That costly turnover between Victor and Castle, it was there. It was there. I mean, they had it. The momentum was totally in their favor in that closing moments here. As a matter of fact, we have Steph Castle and what he had to say about that moment and just what happened exactly. He says, "quote I was looking at him, Wimby, when he first got the rebound. I just started to take off to try to give him some space to dribble up the court. I didn't see him throw it to me. Miscommunication. Again, that shows to maybe signs of the inexperiences right there. You just see it right there and that thing. All right, yeah. I think that's the biggest turning point there again because the Spurs did reclaim the lead. They were, I was watching the Vegas odds. They were changing rapidly. At one point, it's in the last few minutes, it was 65% the Spurs are going to win. Then it jumped to 60% that the Knicks are going to win. 55%, it was just all over the map. So obviously, Vegas saw the game just going wild and did not end up in the Spurs' favor. All right, let's go ahead and get into our last category of the night here.
All right, Jeff, the standout stat, the only one that I'm going to talk about is the biggest kick in the balls that we have tonight to talk about, and that is the second quarter, 31-18.
Yeah, that's a big one there.
You're up by what, 9 points going into that second quarter. Spurs look really, really good. And then all of a sudden, they disappeared. I mean, to be honest, when we get off of this live show, I'm going to send an email to Borden's Milk and ask if I can put the Spurs logo on the side of a milk carton because they just completely went missing in that second quarter. 31-18. New York came out strong in that second quarter. Tough defense. They were making their shots. Everything was going well. San Antonio could not hit the broadside of a barn. It was just a tremendously awful second quarter for San Antonio. I've got no stats for that because the only stat you need to know is 31-18. Pitiful second quarter.
I'm going to go with two stats that stand out, but not in the favor for the Spurs. So for the game, the Knicks had 10 offensive rebounds to the Spurs 5. And what's killing me, Rudy, is, again, the Knicks are averaging 10 offensive rebounds per game. But did you know in this series, the Spurs are averaging 9.5 offensive rebounds, and they came up well short of that. Yeah. Another standout stat in a negative way is second chance points. The Knicks had 14 for the game to the Spurs 9. Now, the Knicks are averaging about 19 second chance points per game. And these are the last two games versus San Antonio, while your Spurs are averaging 11.5. So again, the Spurs just shoot themselves in the foot, man. They shot themselves in the foot. The little things again. So for the game, the Knicks had 15 turnovers, but the Spurs had 16. Who knows if that one turnover could have done everything? And that's what everything's so magnified in the NBA Finals is how you almost have to play perfect ball in these games because by now you're tired. You've played over 100 games now for these two teams. You've gone through playoff struggles, playoff wars, at least for the Spurs. Yeah. And it shows why maybe you want to take care of business if you're going to make a march to the playoff or to the NBA Finals. Look at the Knicks. Swept the Cavs, swept the Sixers, and they got a rest for 11, 12 days? Or the Spurs, they had a 7-game series. So go figure. All right.
We can't put that against the Spurs. The West was way tougher this year. And the Knicks, they are a really damn good team, and they ran through the Eastern Conference. But myself, a lot of people felt like the Eastern Conference was back to where it was in the past. It was kind of like, it's not that great of a conference. As the Spurs, they went through the toughest part of the bracket in the Western Conference. So, yeah, you can say that, you can take care of business. They tried to take care of business in both series against Minnesota and OKC, but those two teams are super tough teams, man. And the Knicks they were fortunate. They were able to play Cleveland, and Cleveland just wasn't good at all, period. And then Toronto, I think Brandon Ingram got injured in a game or two there. So, they got a lot of great run in the Eastern Conference, but they gave the Spurs fits in the regular season. And I remember you told me you didn't buy into what happened in the regular season. I was like, well, you kind of have to with the New York Knicks because they played them close in one game, lost by one, and then they blew out the Spurs in one game. And that one game they blew them out, they were a healthy team at that time. So it kind of goes to show you that they are a team built to compete with San Antonio and possibly beat them.
Did you know going into this series, the Knicks were one of the rare team during the regular season had a winning record against the Spurs, if you include the cup game.
Yeah.
2, did you know during the regular season, it was the Knicks that helped the Spurs to their lowest point total of a game throughout the regular season? And did you know in game 1, the Knicks helped the Spurs to their lowest offensive output point total in their playoff run? Something about this Knicks team, Rudy, that just gives the Spurs fits. They give them fits, and the numbers prove it there. For those of y'all just joining us, again, if you can't see Rudy, he is having some technical issues. His internet is all screwy right now. He doesn't want to try to get back on video, not because he doesn't want to see y'all. It's just simply he doesn't want to wreck the live feed. So with that being said, you got to follow us. Follow Rudy on X at The Sports Answer on X. Follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Rudy, you want to talk about Super Chats? Because it's going to be their time to shine now, that being the Spurs and Focus fans.
Yeah, Super Chats. That's a good way for you guys to really be involved with us. And what that does is, you send a Super Chat over. Obviously, it gets highlighted. It gets read right away. And that's the best way to support Jeff and I here on Spurs and Focus and what we do. Again, every time we get a Super Chat, we really appreciate that. And we tend to give back. I know as far as Spurs and Focus and the Sports Answer and Box Score, we've been giving away a lot of T-shirts over with MCS General Contracting. We're giving away a ton of T-shirts with those guys, and that's the reason why, because you guys are able to give back to us, we give back to you guys. So, yeah, that's the best way to do it with Super Chats.
All right. Rudy's been monitoring the chat room. Saw a couple of y'all being knuckleheads. Had to ban a couple of y'all too, but outside of that, Rudy, what are the Spurs and Focus fans talking about?
All right, we got a good. I'm going to save the good ones for last, obviously, but we've got Jacob Eric at the top says ni hao equals hello. He's overseas, so that's what he was talking about. OKL 3TSGO says, why isn't Mitch calling a timeout for the last possession of the game? Something that you and I have talked about a whole lot tonight. That's my biggest bonehead. If there was a Shackton a full moment, it's definitely that one right there. A lot less pressure if Wemby is taking that shot. I like this. The series is going either 5 or 7. Oh God, Jeff. Why does my gut say that we could possibly see a sweep?
I don't want to see them go out like this.
I don't, but
I'll take a gentleman's sweep. I don't
what are the odds? What are the odds if they get swept?
High.
I mean, be honest. I mean, give me on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being for sure. What do you think it's at?
About a 6.5.
Jesus, you are so a Spurs fan. I've actually got it like at a 7.5, maybe an 8 that they get swept. What can you do? I mean, for real, what can you do? You're getting out coached, man. Yeah. You're getting out coached and outplayed. We got a Super Chat in here. Appreciate the Super Chat. Brother BK, and this is the one that I had a lot of stuff here that I want to get into with him, with Brother BK, because he had a good comment earlier. So shout out Spurs and Focus. Beware Danhausen until you get cursed. I don't know if you know Danhausen, Jeff. He's a WWE wrestler,
right? With ACW, I think.
No, he's with WWE now, and he's got the face paint, and
he has that creepy voice, right?
Yeah, he's like, you are cursed. Yeah, that's that guy. And
by the way, he's a big nerd like me and you. He collects action figures.
Yes, he does. That's a good fun fact, man. Good fun fact, but. He says, shout out Spurs and Focus. Beware Danhausen until you get cursed. If I'm not mistaken, Danhausen.
Wait, Danhausen cursed the Spurs?
So on an episode of Get Up, I think it was Get Up. It was with Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. He actually cursed the Knicks, and Stephen A. Smith was like, I don't believe that. This was earlier, I think before the playoffs, and. Now the Knicks are riding high and everything, so I think maybe they're able to solve the curse of Danhausen, and now the Spurs have the curse of Danhausen. I don't know how this is working, but so far the Spurs have the curse, and Cleveland has the curse. Toronto has the curse. So I don't know, man. Appreciate the Super Chat, but I think Brother's right.
Well, real quick, Brother BKL, is it kind of an honor though to get cursed by Danhausen?
If that's the case, I'm calling up Danhausen tomorrow. You need to curse me and the Spurs. Because yeah, he definitely got to do that. I don't know.
Because I was given the camel clutch by Sergeant Slaughter. Rudy was there with me.
I was
no,
there.
Rudy wasn't there yet. But before Rudy showed up at a Comic-Con with me, I was in line with Sergeant Slaughter, and Slaughter gave me the camel clutch.
That was the one in New Braunfels, wasn't it? I think it was.
It was. Yep.
The one in New Braunfels where you met Sergeant Slaughter. Appreciate the super chat, man. If you got any
thank
more
you,
super
brother.
chats,
We appreciate that.
let me get into a couple of more of these here because again, we got a whole bunch. And brother BLK, he's coming back later because you got a whole bunch of good ones here.
All right, we'll see what he has on deck.
Mitch Johnson prefers an improvised, chaotic play over a coordinated one. That's what I'm saying. You saw it against Portland. He did it again in the NBA Finals. I don't know what he's thinking. I have no idea what he's thinking. Tough loss tonight. Joel's in here. Tim says, "What's up, fellas?" Super R bar as Mitch has in the last 2 games pulled the best player off the floor during a run. He sat Harper last time, then he sat Wemby in the first half when he finally got going. I think so. I mean, I think maybe Mitch has made some issues with his super substitutions. Cat has been balling.
Jesus,
they're happy to see Butterfly Laces. I'm happy to see the Spurs make a comeback there. They were so close. When we should have gone for the layup against the Knicks, they would have fouled him at the end there. I think so. You drive to the basket, but there's not enough time to actually. And remember, Wemby's not the fastest guy either, so you would have had to have Fox or Harper maybe take it to the basket. Let's see. Mitch never talks to them. 30-point quarters are just killers. They definitely are. Let's get into some more here. Mitch ain't that guy. Our team always digging out of holes by poor substitutions. What do you think of that?
Poor substitutions. Well, with Castle in game 2, he got strapped with fouls. So he had no choice but to go to, was it Fox, I think? Or no, Harper, sorry. Which I thought would be good. Okay, fine, Harper. Nothing wrong with that. Trust me, he definitely plays well. But I don't know. For me, it wasn't a matter, at least in game 2, it wasn't a matter of substitutions. It was a matter of the timeouts when it was called. I was begging for him to call out a timeout when the bleeding was starting to happen versus the Knicks. He didn't call a timeout. He just let them play. I said, call out in my head. I'm thinking, call the timeout. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding. Anything just to kill that Knick momentum. I didn't really see that. So for me, it was those little things. As much as say the Spurs players got to do the little things, Mitch Johnson's got to do the little things, and I think that's one of them he could have done. Stop the bleeding, call a timeout when we got that rebound towards the end of the game, stuff like that. What else is everybody talking about?
Joel's in here says, I never liked Mike Brown, but I have to give him credit. He's taking this team over the hump, unlike Tibbs. With a 6-man rotation, Brown actually uses his bench, and that's key, man. He's using just about everybody on his bench. Right now, he's going 9 players deep, which is really, really well. I mean, he doesn't have to use guys Pacoma Dadia. Jordan Clarkson didn't even get any run tonight, which is kind of a surprise to me. I mean, I'll give you one guy that I'm surprised that hasn't gotten run, and that's Tyler Kolek, man, as well. Kolek was a big focal point for the Knicks in this regular season. So,
and I think he also cooked the Spurs in a regular season game.
I believe he did. Yeah, I mean, that's how deep this Knicks team can go right now. That's pretty crazy, man. Your boy Keldon Johnson again disappointing tonight. Man. The 3 out of 4 games that they played the Knicks that he's played, 3 points, Jeff. Actually, no, it's more than that. 4 out of 5 games, 3 points is all he's able to muster.
Hey, real fast, if I can throw this in here real fast.
Yeah.
Did you know? I just looked at the stats here for the game. The Spurs only had 11 fast break points. Isn't that what their bread and butter is getting up and running and getting that pace high? The Knicks were playing their pace from tip-off. Yeah. I did not once see, okay, well, maybe in that fourth, but I would say 70% of the game, the pace was all Knicks.
Yeah. Yeah, the Knicks slowed the ball down, and that's the thing that they're doing, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you're seeing Spurs kind of falter a little bit, because the Knicks are playing their style of basketball. San Antonio loves to run; they have to get out and run, but they also like to move the ball on the offensive side. It kind of gets stagnant from time to time. You have too much one-on-one. Jeff and Rudy, let me ask you a question. During the third and fourth quarter, when Jalen and Cat were on the bench, shouldn't the Spurs take advantage or make some shots or something? You think they should take advantage of that?
I thought they kind of did. There was yes, I do remember. Yeah, because Cat got in foul trouble, and Brunson sat out for like I think the last 2-ish minutes of the third,
Mm,
went into the fourth, and I don't know if he started the fourth, but the point is, I think that's when you started seeing the momentum turn to the Spurs' favor in the third quarter ish. It was starting. I don't say it was at full power. The
right.
fourth quarter, it just took on. But I think they did okay in those spots. The problem is, I don't know if the Spurs have figured out how to be the Spurs and play their brand of ball when Victor's not on there, because that's when you'll see a little bit of the collapse starts happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Sohan knows his first plays, yet he wins either way.
Yeah,
Now,
he gets a ring no matter what. So he's probably
well,
sitting right now on his seat like this, like, all right, guys, y'all slug it out. I'm good.
if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, if say the Spurs do come back and win, they have the option not to give him a ring.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was guaranteed.
No, I believe I read somewhere an NBA ruling that they don't have to give if a player was traded or cut at any point of the season, they're not entitled to give anyone a ring. So
Really? I did not know that.
yeah, I believe that's the case. I think it's done out of oh well, thanks for being a Spur for a little bit here. So I think that
Would
would
you
be
give him a
it.
ring?
Probably not. I mean,
Get
probably
your
not.
Rudy.
I wouldn't. I'm kind of a douchebag, man. Everybody knows that. There's a lot of less pressure with a tie game. Wemby is looking at the next game. He can dwell on this game moving forward. Yeah, but I mean, there's only so many times. There's only 2 more times you can say, "Well, I have to look forward to next game."
Yeah.
And after that, then it's time to go fishing in Galveston. So, winning time. Let's see. You can take for granted making the finals, but as good a whooping it might be what the Spurs need to lose the dynasty. Losing tastes bad. Yeah, I mean, but then we've also seen teams get to the finals and never win it, and there goes their chances. Utah. I mean, that's one.
Yep.
Seattle was another one with they had a really good team with Kemp and Peyton. They got there, never got back again, after that. So you got to take full advantage, man. You got to take full advantage of it. Chili Con Cardenos is in here. The Spurs couldn't lob a pass to save their lives tonight. There was a bunch of times I thought, man, Wimby could
Yeah.
have an easy alley oop here. Definitely not. What else do we got in here, man? Missed free throws can lose
Yeah,
a game.
that's a big reason. Another reason why they lost. Rudy highlighted that in his takeaways.
I was shocked by that Wimby and Castle turnover. A lot of people were never should have happened though. Call a timeout. That timeout
Yeah.
is gonna. This feels like that Rod Strickland pass, man. I mean, it feels like that's the turning point of the series, right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby needs another 2. We need another shooter and Giannis Eastkiller and need help with OKC. I don't think you go into this off season. Do you go into this off season to trying to tweak a
No.
whole lot?
No.
What
No.
if it's adding Giannis?
No, because you have to trade for him, right? He's not a free agent, right?
You're gonna have to trade for him.
No. Milwaukee's gonna want a lot. I don't think you. I mean, obviously the off season is not officially started yet, but no, I think you're fine. I think if anything, you just need to add another perimeter shooter. That's my opinion. I think you just need to add a consistent perimeter shooter.
So let me just throw this out there. We're not talking Giannis, but one guy that's been kind of talked about that they can go after that is available. Would a guy like Trey Murphy make
Yes,
the difference?
that'd be the huge difference maker.
Now, what are you willing to give up for Trey
Vassell.
Murphy?
Vassell and some picks.
I doubt that the Pelicans are going to want just Vassell. Think on the terms of Mikal Bridges.
They need a player like that, like a Bridges, a Murphy.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they're missing.
So you're probably going to have to give up maybe even Carter Bryant in that deal. You're going to have to give up maybe 4 picks at minimum.
4 picks.
Remember, Mikal brought in 5. Desmond Bain brought in what, 4 or 5? I mean,
well, you know what? Screw it. You're gonna have to. You can't use them all. So go for it.
Well, I hate to say this, but OKC's linked to him as well right now. So
of course,
that'll be terrible. Wemby had bad pass reminds me of Rod Strickland pass in the 90s. There it is, man. There it is. It's like the Knicks run, the Spurs run its course. They step up. They're talking about the tickets. San Antonio peeps got priced out.
They certainly did.
I do understand that, but I don't know, man. That's just
You
way
know
too
what
many
gets me
investments.
is I know how expensive they are, especially on the secondary market.
Yeah.
But my God, I mean, are people obviously they are. You have San Antonio residents paying those prices. They're probably using Klarna, or something because I, I toyed with the idea of going, and I gave myself a baseline where I cannot exceed this much. And when I saw the prices, it just blew away my baseline. I said, "No, I'm not gonna go. I'm good."
I totally get that, man. There's no way I would have been able to
Because
go
then there's the
at all.
food, and then there's the tickets, and then there's the drinks, and then there's the merch, and like, yeah, it's too much.
Selling two finals tickets, which cost 6,500 each, could pay for next year's season ticket package. I don't know how true that is because if aren't they telling people that if you have a season ticket and you sold your tickets, you're not allowed to buy season tickets next year, or you're pretty much banned? Wasn't that the ruling that the
Mhm.
Spurs had?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, you're. I'm hearing a bunch of long time ticket holders, like been in there for 20 years, getting banned. I mean, I think the Spurs need to reconsider that, especially for those that have been loyal, paying season tickets. I think that's. I, I don't know. I think you got to grandfather them in or something.
I agree with you. I think so. I'm upset that season ticket holders are selling their tickets. I really am. They
Hmm.
shouldn't be selling their tickets to Knicks fans, and they're probably paying triple, maybe quadruple the price to get into the game.
Hmm.
So I get it. Hey, you're getting your, I went on a rant last time, and yeah, you're getting your car paid for and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Congratulations, but I don't think you should ban them from buying tickets for
Hmm.
next year because there's really not a lot of people that can afford certain tickets anyway for the season,
Yeah.
except those kinds of people. So I mean, they make more money than a lot of us anyway. So they should not be banned at least for the regular season goes. Down 0-2, only 5 teams to come back from OT deficit to win. Last one was the Bucks in 2021. So there's hope. Well, the Phoenix
Mm,
Suns are not exactly,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know, I mean, the greatest finals team in history. So I'd kind of wouldn't put that in there. These are the comments I'm talking about when the brother BLK says, "What up, fellas? Well, looks like your team are outnumbered until your Spurs definitely cursed. Beware Danhausen curse are real, bro. I am bugging. 2-0, baby, 2 more to go. He's
Yeah, Knicks fans in the house.
yeah, Knicks fans are definitely mouse. I got to put this real quick. I'm gonna go on and off, but this one said, F dude, my toddler was calling for a timeout. Everybody was calling for a timeout in that sense, man.
It was
Did someone
obvious.
put the curse on us? Knicks have only won 2 ships in 80 years, so they can pump the brakes on NBA domination. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if the Knicks win.
Me
Wemby
neither.
says,
Oh, you know why I don't mind.
"Oh
So
yeah, I know why you don't mind." Wemby said they're going to come with more motivation next game, but at some point, motivation ain't enough. The Knicks kicked their ass the whole season. They're just
yeah,
better than us.
yeah.
Bam! This comment needs to be highlighted because, again, as mentioned a little while ago, you can only use the well. There's always next game. We're going to learn, and you know what? We're going to come out and we're going to play better next game. What the hell do you have to wait for the next game
But
for it?
but Rudy, I thought you said Wemby was generational. Isn't
I
he
didn't say that.
generational?
I didn't say generational. I said I was already contemplating it. I've not yet come out 100% said he's generational. So he just because I mean, Jordan lost a lot of times in the playoffs.
Yeah, he
I
did.
mean, LeBron's probably the worst GOAT player in history that has, a losing record in the finals. I mean, if it's it's going to be a domination for the Spurs and Wemby, for years to come, but he's not quite generational just yet. But again, you can only say I'm going to be motivated for the next game until the season's over. And then what? Are you motivated to get better in the offseason when you got swept by the New York Knicks? I mean, that's kind of what it looks like here.
Yeah.
Uh Danhausen and then Victor. What I think it's when I called Victor Stockton, bringing the ball up the court there. Roman Reigns. We're getting into some wrestling talk. Mitch Johnson is scared to design plays. That's a
Oh,
good point
yeah.
because
It's like,
is that why he didn't call timeout? I mean, you're tied 104-104. Do you not know how to call timeout and draw up a play for the last shot of the game? I mean, I can guarantee you every coach in America, at least majority of them, call timeout in that sense there. Whether you're coaching the Spurs drug-free league or you're an NBA head coach, you are calling a timeout there knowing you have the last shot to win the game. You're tied. Worst that can happen is you go to overtime. This is crazy, man. Crazy. Oh, now you put him up. Yeah. What is he pointing? Is he pointing to somebody to call a timeout for him? I mean, is that what he's doing?
For you, Rudy.
Thank you.
Call the timeout.
I would have called it. Unfortunately, we were thinking Spurs are favorite, but look at those bets. New York Knicks minus 135 at Spurs plus 115. Well, anyone got milk. Anyway, this season or this series changes, Jeff?
My God. See, the thing about it, I'm going to say no. I mean, it's because the Spurs have to do a lot more adjustments than the Knicks have to.
Yeah.
The Spurs have to do the vast amount of adjusting. The Knicks don't.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And they got a chokehold on home court advantage now.
Yeah, we got all day B-ball in here, and he's kind of upset because he says Spurs are in 6. Then we got Spurs.
Jesus, Spurs in 6. All right. Well, we're going to see the most 4 straight games over the Knicks from the Spurs.
I took Spurs in 6. I mean, I can't change it. I know it's not going to happen probably, but I can't change it. F New York. Stop giving the Knicks team all this credit. Is full of midgets. These midgets are outplaying the Giants
right now. They got scoreboard.
Jeff, a gentleman sweep would mean they would win on our court. We will never hear the end of it from Knicks fans. I don't see it. I get the gentleman sweep, Jeff, but it just has sweep written all over it, man.
I don't know, Rudy.
I don't see the adjustment.
Sweep. I see a gentleman sweep.
I don't see
the Knicks are due for a loss, right? They got to be due for the law of averages here.
Probably next season. I mean, I don't see it happening in this playoffs, man. I mean, as legitimately in the 2 games that you've seen, have you seen anything?
Well,
anything?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, good. We always bring up great points here.
Maybe not game 1, but definitely in game 2. In the way they close it out, I think the Spurs, they lost it. The way they close it out.
Now let me shoot this back at you. If you look up the stats, and you're a great guy that looks up stats, the Knicks are the number 1 fourth quarter team in the NBA. When they close out games.
Yeah.
So no matter if it's a 105-104 victory or a 121-90 something victory, they close out teams in the fourth quarter.
But you know what's interesting though? In clutch moments in these last 2 games, it's the Spurs that are averaging more points in the clutch time than the Knicks are. The Spurs are averaging 9 clutch points to the Knicks 7.5 clutch points.
Very true.
But so what's the difference? Why are they doing this? Well, begin the little freaking things. It's the Knicks that average more steals in clutch moments. It's the Knicks that have 1 fewer turnover in clutch moments. It's minimal fouls. Did you know in clutch moments in the last 2 games, everybody, the Knicks only commit 2 fouls to the Spurs, 3? What else? It's the second chance points. The average is about 3 second chance points to the Spurs, 2. The little things mount up.
Yeah, but it's, and at the end of the day, like my one of my favorite players and announcers of all time, Bill Walton, said, Jeff, tonight's matchup between the Spurs and the Knicks is a great matchup, battle of the Titans, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will be victorious. That is a classic Bill Walton quote there, man. Let's just say 50-50. Let's see, Danhausen is dumb. Unfortunately, we got more Danhausen. Rudy talks. Why are we talking about Danhausen? We got a lot of Danhausen talking.
Danhausen.
Everybody loves it. I won't be shocked if Spurs win game 3. There are going to be lots of distractions for game 3 due to security
issues. Is Danhausen even a good wrestler?
I've maybe seen him wrestle. I've seen him wrestle once. I have no idea.
Just more of an act.
I don't know. I really can't say. Yeah. A team full of wrestle little men who avoided Boston and Detroit. That's not their fault, though.
Still, who has scoreboard? No matter what you say, B-ball, who has scoreboard?
And it's not that we're picking on B-ball. I get what he's saying. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. It was an easier path for the Knicks, and he just mentioned about the Spurs. Minnesota and OKC, easier path for the Knicks, but if it was that easy, or if they were that bad of a team, you would have thought the Spurs would have won at least one of these games. I mean,
Mhm,
there's no doubt the Knicks are showing why, they are who they are right now. I mean,
mhm.
they are who they thought they were. Again, more with the lobs. Cat is twice as thick as Wemby, and Mitch Roberts can get up there,
Yep.
so it's tougher and difficult. Yeah,
These are grown men he's going up against.
Wemby gonna cry in the car. Oh my God, Jacob's back in here with that.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. Take Wemby to Don Pedro's to get some
Sure.
thickness.
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
What's the raise the flag? Who's that? Which one is that? Is that
That was the buffet, right?
yeah? I can't remember
know.
that raise the
I
flag.
always want to call it from South Park, Casa Bonita, but it's not Casa Bonita.
Casa Bonita.
It's not that. Oh, wait,
I
what
was
was
I
it?
was saying
Oh, Ponchos.
Ponchos,
It was
raise the
Ponchos.
flag. You got to
Yes.
take him to Ponchos. There's one here. Chris Saint Spurs in 7. Spurs
No,
don't
they
want to
didn't take
win.
him to a churrascaria. You do that, you get
Oh God.
thick quick.
Hey,
It's all protein that on those things.
when I was a really big fat guy way back when, and I'm getting back there probably. I hope not, but when I was a really big fat guy, those Chinese buffets in San Antonio were, oh my God, iconic, dude.
Let me tell you, when I used to live in New York City, I've been to a churrascaria many, many times, but I've never been to an Argentinian churrascaria.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that was some of the best food in my life. You know, Argentinians prepare their meats, their steaks, and all that stuff, their pork.
Yeah.
They use like a metal teepee with hooks on it, and they put the fire inside the metal teepee, and then they cover it up. And oh my God, it's so good.
I have no idea. I mean, I'm gonna just trust you on that because I don't like to
Yeah.
eat a lot of different things. Prices are rent money to us. I got priced out a long time ago. Same thing with me, man. I haven't been to Spurs games. Well, I've been to them when I've covered them, and that's really the only time I took advantage of going to
Mhm.
games. But after that, when I stopped covering them at the game, I just didn't want to go back. The prices were outrageous, even for preseason games. I got priced out. I was like, there's no reason
I
to
thought
going
the
to.
preseason were hella cheap.
I looked at preseason prices, and I mean, I can't sit in the nosebleed. I really cannot do that.
Yeah. All right.
But lower bowl, they were still like 105, 110 a piece. So I'm a tight ass chef. I'm not gonna
All
spend
right.
that
All
kind
right.
of
All
money.
right.
Hell yeah, Zap. Unfortunately, NBA Finals, your Knicks, man, Madison Square Garden they're
Yeah. I heard about that. Yeah, they're crazy.
5,000. Those are Jeff Garcia prices
Here we
easily.
go.
The Knicks, we got a Knicks fan in here. Victor Bambiyama needs some milk. Knicks for the win. Love it.
As much as Vic says he doesn't want to add size, I think he's learning a big lesson that you need size.
You've got to bulk up a little bit. I mean, just a little bit more. And yeah, but at his height, you can't bulk up. I mean, it's almost impossible to bulk up. Seriously, you work out. I know you work out. So you know a lot about working out there. And you have to admit that with Victor's frame, there's only so much muscle he can put on.
Yeah, there's none of that too. His travel for lifting, not literally going to the gym, but when he lifts, like he does a bench press or he does an arm curl, the travel is longer and the muscles are expanded more. Short guys, that's why short guys excel in the weight room, because short guys or short women, just short people, can pack on muscle quick because their travel time is shorter and they can break those fibers easier. But for Wemby, guys like of his height, or it takes longer for them. But let me tell you, they put in the work though, man. They look like freaking Greek goddesses and gods once they're done. But it takes a little longer for them to get there.
Yeah, we got more Knicks won in 2 years, 2 and 80 years. Trade Wemby for Giannis. About that. Pop rolling on his bed. He's gonna do before he became coach, fire head coach, and appoint himself as coach again. Then does Mitch Johnson get the Bob
He's
Hill
up
treatment?
on that. He's up. You got to give Mitch his time.
I love that.
Look, at least Mitch had the wherewithal to acknowledge that he's also a rookie head coach in the playoffs. So at least he's aware of it too.
Mitch did something Bob Hill never did, and that's get to the NBA Finals. So I mean, you got to give him some credit there. But no, I love that comment. What the hell? That would be awesome, man. How the hell does Mitch not have court awareness? He's not even playing. Mitch is gonna get cooked for a while. Some Theo's looking at the corgi telling the dog he or she is bad luck.
Yeah, I thought everybody loves the corgi. They're parading around all over San Antonio.
Well, let's hope the corgi is staying away from Military Drive right now, because I'm sure people are pissed off on Military Drive. Jacob said he had Knicks in 6.
The pound police on him.
Yeah, he's might be getting generous. we're gonna have to change it. It'll probably be Knicks in like 5, maybe even 4. We may even see a
And
sweep.
I'll take a gentleman sweep.
You may get a sweep. Go New York, more Knicks fans. Love y'all Knicks fans in here. Try to imagine if you guys are visiting New York until you landed Knicks fan. Dude, how you feel. I don't know.
Hey, brother BKO, I lived in New York City for
Yeah.
20 years. I know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, Jeff did live in New York, man. The Spurs are beating themselves. That's what bugging me the most. So little things, and Jeff called it. Little things are killing them.
The little things.
Landry Shamet tonight. Big for Landry Shamet. I mean, he's
some
another.
big hits. He had some
Got a
big,
couple
big,
more
big-
comments and we're done. They have Ponchos, Josh Ariz. Appreciate that for
Ponchos.
jumping in here. Why is Spurs shooting threes and layups other than players are around the point line? They make no attempts to go for rebounds. Effing stupid. It's weird because the rebounding totals have been really close with the exception of tonight with the offensive rebounds. I mean, they got doubled up against the Knicks on the offensive rebound side. 6 feet tall, 215 pounds. I need that ding, that bing. That's what they do on Dan Patrick whenever they call in and they give their height and weight.
Maybe I can find something here. Let me see if I can do it here.
That'd be cool. So if you guys want to drop your height and weight, we'll do the ding. But I don't think we have a ding on here.
I might have one. How about a gong? Would a gong work?
Sure, we're gonna do a gong.
Or how about an explosion because they're like full of power?
Whichever one works. I can always go get a ding.
Okay, let's start over again. Okay, what was the comment again, Rudy?
So we got Sean Burgess in here. He's 6 feet tall, 215 pounds.
And it didn't work.
Didn't work, man. That's a fail.
We're gonna get it's that kind of night, everybody. Yeah, it's that kind of night. All right, right. Here we go. We'll go with the gong.
Is it? There you go.
It's a little too long.
Carlos, he's in here saying 6'3", and he's full of love. We got to get him going.
Let's do it again.
There you go. There you go. I love this. Jeff, how electric will the Garden be on Monday? Since you
let me tell you,
New York?
I know MSG like the back of my hand. I could tell you where to go, where to eat, how to get to certain places. I nearly lived there for 20 years of my life. It's loud. I went to a non-Spurs Knicks game. I went to go see Knicks Thunder one time, and oh my God, it wasn't until that game where I appreciated just how passionate Knicks fans are. So yeah.
Love it, man. And we're gonna end the show on this one, Jeff. Says I don't know what the F was a Landry Shaman until now. Can I do my best Shannon Sharp for you here? We're gonna do Tom Landry, Landry Seafood, Landry Shamet, Knicks in 5. There we go.
Oh my God, we need a little bit of laugh because let me tell you, right now I feel a little after the Spurs lost. Yes, everybody, once again, if we're wrapping it up here, your Spurs are down, and it's not pretty. 0-2 to the Knicks, losing both games at the Frost. 105-104, game 2 was your final score. Spurs have a mighty task ahead of them, They got to now beat the Knicks 4 out of 5 times with the Knicks with a chokehold on home court advantage. Yeah, Spurs don't have it anymore. So there's that. We're going to start winding down the show here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. Again, we appreciate y'all coming here, hanging out with us. You know, just kind of thinking of this kind of as a therapy couch session here. So we appreciate it. To everybody leaving comments, we thank you. Keep coming here to Spurs in Focus every time you need to get your fix, your Spurs fix. Hopefully it's for more than 2 more games. We can continue doing this.
Spurs in 9.
Spurs in 9. I'll take it.
Hey,
Rudy, brag about the sports answer for us.
Yeah, sports answer, man. We didn't have a show today. Actually, Derek was sick, and I actually had some stuff come up too. So we're on every single Friday over at the Answer Now TV on YouTube. You can find us on Box Score Studio on YouTube as well. Quick shout out, Jeff. Bear County Social Apparel's in here. We mentioned earlier we do a lot of giveaways with MCS General Contracting. Those shirts actually are part of Bear County Social Apparel. So give a shout out to Bear County Social Apparel. Does a fantastic job. We're always doing giveaways with them. So yeah, Spurs in Focus, Sports Answer, Box Score Studio, MCS, we're all doing giveaways that revolve around Bear County Social Apparel. So yeah, but join us on every single Friday, myself and Derek Irvin. We have a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, exactly. Follow Rudy on X. That's the best way to do it, at the Sports Answer. There you get all the information and whatnot, you need to do listen to his show when he is live. And I got an extra comment here. What is it?
You read it. It's for you.
Oh, it's for me. Okay, it's from @send_that. Hopefully, as nobody thinks we can win, the thought that we have nothing to lose will help our Spurs tune everything out and help our Spurs be in focus. That's pretty poetic there, buddy. Thank you for that, Send That.
Very.
That was nice. We appreciate y'all hanging out here late at night to vent about the Spurs loss. We'll see what happens. The problem is they got 48 hours to think about it. Yeah, game 3 is not till Monday, so hopefully the Spurs in these next few days can right the ship and at least make this a series. Hopefully they can, but we got to wait till Monday for that to happen. Everybody, we thank you for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things silver and black. Come here every time, every day. You want to catch up on the latest on the silver and black. Unsubscribe to the rest you see out there on YouTube land. Yeah, unsubscribe to them. You just want to subscribe here to Spurs in Focus on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Music. Yeah. Also, Spurs in Focus Substack is completely free. Google it. Just put Spurs in Focus Substack. There you get it. Hit subscribe. You are part of the crew. We'll likely be back on Monday, likely previewing Game 3. Don't know who's going to be online. Maybe it could be Rudy. I'm chasing some other guests, but we'll have something for you for Monday. And subscribe ASAP. Rudy, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here on this live edition of Spurs in Focus. Once again, your Spurs down 0-2. Can they beat the Knicks 4 out of the next 5? We shall see. So for Mr. Rudy Campos, or say Rudy Pancho Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. Raise the flag, Rudy. Yeah, Rudy Pancho Campos. I am Jeff Garcia. And now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.